Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Now, the Youth Aquaculture Project is a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. Now, the course is designed to be heavily focused on hands-on learning for participants. And so, program coordinator at the project implementation unit, Mrs. Gashel Jilks Edwards, and technical coordinator agriculture, Mrs. Kelly Silal Sanka, are joining us this morning to talk more about it. Kelly, I believe, is on Zoom and Gashel is on phone, and so they're joining us virtually for this conversation this morning. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Hi, good morning, Kimberly, and good morning to all of your listeners and viewers. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Gashel, I'm coming to you first. Hi, Kelly. Morning. Gashel, I'm coming to you first because I know that the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, I understand, is a very young ministry. And so I always like to start off with just giving an overview of the mandates of the ministry and, of course, the trust since it was established.
Certainly. So we are almost 3 years old, so definitely a young ministry. We were established in August of 2020. And our primary focus is to serve the needs of young persons between the ages of 10 to 35. And we have our national youth policy, which covers 2020 to 2025, that has 8 pillars, which is geared towards the advancement of development opportunities for young people, ensuring that we have co-creators that can become job creators and not only job seekers, so ensuring that we have a supportive entrepreneurial environment. And lastly, but not least important, is promoting national service. So our Minister, Foshla Cummings, he and the staff and management, my management colleagues, we definitely have been championing a suite of programs for young persons within our country to meet the needs of today and tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, I know among that suite of programs, you have a lot of courses focused on agriculture. And so it was no surprise when I saw the aquaculture program as well. Now, before we get into the program, though, give us an overview of what aquaculture is.
So let me just speak in general about the suite of programs. Sorry, Kelly, but I just wanted to bring to the viewers' attention that we have 3 youth and agriculture programs at present. We have the YAP, which I know Kimberly is very familiar with, because you've been on the program and we've been all over speaking about
it at length. Yes.
Yes. Then we have the Shade House project. And now today, as you rightfully said, we are here to discuss the Youth Aquaculture Project, which Kelly is going to provide more information on.
Sure. Kelly, you can jump in here. Aquaculture.
Yeah, so aquaculture in very, very simple term, it's basically fish farming. It is the farming or production of aquatic organism, and it can range anywhere from fish, shellfish, or even aquatic plants in both freshwater or saltwater setting. It is mainly done for human consumption, commercial products, habitat restoration, or even species conservation. So Trinidad and Tobago for many decades have been involved in aquaculture, but it has been mostly freshwater-based production species such as tilapia, shrimp, cascadoo, which are generally grown in earthen ponds, or more recently recirculating aquaculture systems like aquaponics. However, aquaculture productivity in Trinidad and Tobago has been fluctuating throughout the years, and this really creates a necessity for programs such as Youth Aquaculture Project.
Yeah. And so, well, let's use that as a stepping point into the aquaculture program for 2023.
Yes,
and anyone can take this question
if
it's Kelly or Gashel.
Yes, between the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service, the University of the West Indies, and also the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, in which ages 16 to 35 can apply. This program was strategically developed to meet one of the key areas of strategic priority for agricultural transformation in Trinidad and Tobago, and very important, it is also in alignment with the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. I think it covers 8 of the 11 Sustainable Development Goals. So the curriculum was developed to train participants on core areas of sustainable aquaculture, and some learnings would be focused in areas such as aquaculture phases, aquatic seed production, water quality management, aquaculture system design, production and management, and also post-harvest and marketing. Yeah. So essentially, the course primarily focuses on practical training, but also theoretical training as well. And participants will also be taught the best methods and practices for sustainable aquaculture.
Yeah. Do you need to have any sort of background before you apply to this program?
No
Well,
background, just a keen interest in aquaculture or agriculture, and also 3CXC passes as well.
Yeah. And the registration is open now. And can you give us a deadline as to when it's going to close?
Yes, the
so the
registration is
deadline for
open
our
and the deadline is the 21st of July. Yes.
Nice. And Gashel, I'm coming back to you. Now, you mentioned that suite of services, and so we have aquaculture coming now. And so what is the unique sort of pull for this aquaculture program as opposed to, let's say, the YAP or the others that MyDNS offers?
Well, I will definitely say that the aquaculture project will allow us to, as Kelly would have indicated, get into fish farming and shell food farming. We love our shrimp, we love our fish as Trinidadians, and once it is this fast-growing industry, once it is we position our young people to really contribute to that sector, we will position ourselves to reduce the import of such goods. So I foresee that young persons, and there's a lot of technology as well in terms of the rearing of these particular species. So I know for certain that young persons will be interested. It is definitely an addition for those who may not have had interest in the agricultural, the homestead program,
Yeah.
or necessarily the shade house program. The young persons are definitely going to, those who did not have interest in those, this is definitely for them to have an interest in.
Where will the course be given, Gashel?
So, we always partner with accredited institutions to ensure that, these young persons get proper certification. So the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, is going to be delivering our curriculum, and this is going to be done at the St. Augustine campus. However, we are also going to be doing the practical elements at the Aquaculture Training Center in Londonville, and some persons may be more familiar with it as the Sugarcane Feed Center.
Yeah. And so how does this...
under MAL.
And so how does this differ? And I'm coming back to you, Kelly, because I know that we're talking aquaculture, but people may not want to go the full route of doing aquaculture and just go, let's say, for example, like aquaponics, which of course is different. It is growing of the plants and stuff in water. But I really want to get the selling point behind this as opposed to, let's say, going to an aquaculture or hydroponics program. Kelly? Not sure if Kelly's still there. Gashel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, you can jump in.
As I said before, the selling point in general would be for us to increase the work skill readiness of these young persons and their entrepreneurial skills.
Yeah.
But I don't want us to look at it as either or, but more so whatever aligns with the needs of our country and the desires of our young people. So we are in the process of, tailoring programs that will be able to capture both the demand side and the supply side, and we are going to ensure that that suite encompasses all our needs. So for those who are interested in agriculture, we have homestead. Those interested in the shade house and shade house farming, we have shade house protected farming, which is a very climatic approach to our agriculture, and now we are adding aquaculture to our seat.
Yeah. Now, I always like to ask, Gashel, and I know you're probably accustomed to this by now, but what is the benefit? So you mentioned in terms of entrepreneurship, but for example, at the end of this program, is the ministry going to provide markets or avenues for these young entrepreneurs to sell their products?
Certainly. So you know that we have been undertaking a collaborative approach in all of our initiatives. So we have partnered with NAMDEFCO to assist with the marketing intelligence. The marketing and the market intelligence for these young persons, they are also providing them with GAP certification so that they have the good agricultural practices. This is a global standard that they are adhering to so that these young persons will be able to export their products when required. So we've also partnered with NEDCO, as you said, for the entrepreneurial element of it, because we want to ensure that, it is a fully comprehensive training experience that these young persons have. So outside of providing them with that accredited training from the University of the West Indies, and also, collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture so that they can get access to these various funds throughout Trinidad, we are, really positioning them. Listen, these young persons, we provide them with these stipends so that they can commute to their training locations, and also cover their meal costs on a daily basis, so they do not have that to worry about. Right. And we are always, open to other avenues of assistance where we can really hold their hands throughout these processes to make sure that when they complete these programs, they have the option to get into the business of agriculture, aquaculture. If they wish to matriculate into higher forms of education, it is an accredited program, and also to provide them with the networks, most importantly, the networks where it is they can really position themselves in the agriculture sector so that these young farmers, these young agri-entrepreneurs are well equipped to get out there and make a difference in our food security.
Gashal, I also have to ask as well in terms of the monitoring process, because we don't want these young people just coming in. I can imagine the money that's being spent in terms of the partnership and to get this program off the ground. So is the ministry going to ensure that there's a monitoring process in place to ensure, for example, the students are going to school, that they're participating, that they make it to that phase where they can get their certificates and enter the business as well?
Oh, yes, certainly. So all of our programs have a very strong M&E component, and it is evidence-based, based on the attendance, because you only get your stipend when you attend. So the executing agency, whether it be the University of the West Indies or UCT, they provide us with daily attendance registers on all of the students. We monitor their academic performance as well as alongside their punctuality. And when they attend the NEDCO programs, they are required to submit their business plans, which we would use as a guide to track their progress upon completion.
Nice. And any final thoughts before we go, Gashal?
Oh, yes, certainly. I just want to continue to encourage the young persons, because they have been applying in their big numbers, to really encourage the young persons to get into our agriculture sector. We eat 3 times a day. We depend on our farmers 3 times a day. And it is quite important for us to continue to support young people to get into this field, for us to have safe food, accessible food, and affordable food today and for tomorrow. And we are all ears. The Ministry of Youth Development listens to what it is our young people require. So feel free to reach out to us on our social media platforms, visit the ministry, contact us via phone. We are here to listen to what you need, and we are all open to creating the programs to meet the needs of our country.
And Gashal, just remind us the deadline date for the application for the aquaculture program.
So Kelly said it's 21st. I don't know if we will be extending the date, but for now, I really want all young persons today, and if not today, tomorrow, to get on our website or come into our ministry and complete the form. I mean, it's an open opportunity for you. So I'm encouraging them to do it today, but yes, please try to do it before the 21st of July.
Nice. Gashal, let me thank you so much for joining us this morning. As always, thank you so much for joining, and continue to do the work that you and your team are doing at the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. Thank you so much, Gashal, and also to Kelly, who joined us this morning.
Okay, thanks very much, Kim. Take care.
Take care. And remember, you can reach out to the MyDNS. That's www.mydns.gov.tt for further information, or you can call 612-9367, extension 5010. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break. I'll be right back. Stay with us.